easier as a part of practice development. It is very important nowadays. And this is a second session where we are focusing upon new area of practice. So in the growth series, we have decided that we will be having two broad things, one on technological front and second on new area or the X factor area or different area of practices. So for this, we have today with us CA Neha Gada and CA Rajen Gada, who are into this securities law. Being a chartered accountant, trying such area is a bit offbeat, and they are practicing in this particular area since long. So we have tried this particular thing where we can have an interactive session where they can we have jotted some questions so that we can understand that if somebody wants to try out this area of practice, then what are the challenges in today's scenario, what are things we need to take care of and stuff like that. And to moderate the session, we have CA Harsh Dedhia, who will be Vice President of Association, who will be taking questions with Neha Ben and Rajen Bhai. Apart from that, this we are also having CA Jeenal Savla. She will be taking care of the independent directorship side. Also, Neha Ben will also take up that part because she's also independent director of listed companies. So, how as a practicing chartered accountant, we can take benefit of these fields. To start with the session, I will first like to ask CA Jill Shah to introduce our today's speaker, CA Neha Gada and CA Rajan Gada.
Thank you, Vinit Bhai. Good evening, everyone. Today it's my honor to introduce you all to the speakers for today, CA Rajen Gada and CA Neha Gada. CA Rajen Gada is a seasoned financial service professional with over 24 years of experience as a qualified chartered accountant, insolvency professional, law graduate, diploma in securities law, bachelor's of law. He has worked with renowned firms such as PwC India and RSM Advisory. CA Neha Gada is a chartered accountant, insolvency professional, and a bachelor of law. She has started her professional career in the year 1997. She has served as a managerial position for 8 years at BSC Limited. They both run a consultancy firm named Infineon Advisory Capital Private Limited. Their area of expertise includes IPO advisory, SEBI and security laws, stock exchange services, structuring and corporate actions, non-banking financial companies, and due diligence of listed companies and NBFCs for takeover. They have been instrumental in transactions involving SME, IPOs, acquisition and takeover of listed companies, and structuring capital of companies. Compliances with stock exchange, corporate restructuring, handling exemption and consent applications at SEBI, and drafting of ESOP schemes. They also assist entities in securing loans for clients as well as help with pre and post IPO funding. Both hold a position as independent directors on the board of various listed companies. CA Rajan Gada is also a co-founder of a startup known as FinPro, which is collaboration of platforms for financial professionals. CA Neha Gada is the Honorary Secretary of Chambers of Tax Consultant and Honorary Treasurer of Jito Midtown Chapter, Mumbai. Now I would request CA Vinit Gada to present e-memento to CA Rajen Gada.
Rajan Bhai, we welcome you for this interactive session on the practicing area on securities law. Thank you for accepting our invitation and being on this particular session.
Thank you, Vinny. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Now may I request CA Umang Soni to present the e-memento to CA Neha Gada.
It would be my honor to present a memento to the amazing dynamic lady Neha Gada. It would be an honor to hear your views on this uncommon area of practice. We would love to hear. Thank you for being present here.
Thanks.
And
Thank
please
you.
accept this e-memento.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
The moderator for our today's session is CA Harsh Dedhia. He is a member of ICAI and an MCOM from Mumbai University. He is a registered valuer under IBBI. He is in practice since last 8 years under the name of H.H. Dedhia and Associates. Prior to that, he has a 4 years rich experience in Big Fours, in assurance firm and financial service industry. His professional interest is in handling statutory audits, due diligence, valuation services, and financial advisory services. Has worked majorly for real estate, manufacturing, and financial service sectors like NBFC, stockbroking, etc. He has also been involved in valuation of some successful startups as well as valuation of stressed companies. He is a faculty member and a paper writer of several seminars or workshops held by the WIRC of ICAI, BCAS, and CVOCA. He is a co-opted member of various committees of WIRC of ICAI and also a co-opted member of valuation standard boards for the year 2023-24. Now, may I request CA Chintan Rambia to present an e-memento to CA Harsh Dedhia.
Harsh, it is an absolute honor to provide you this e-certificate of appreciation. I'm sure you have prepared a lot of questions that will be helpful to all these participants and and how to grow in their own practice.
Thank you,
Accept
Chintan.
this
Thank you, CVOCA.
on behalf of CVOCA. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank
I
you.
think, Harsh, now you can start with the session, and participants, whoever is having any question, they can put in chat box. We will be moderating here and then whenever the time comes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Vinit. Thank you, the Practice Management Development Committee of CVOCA, first of all, for giving me this opportunity to moderate this session. It is a very innovative thing to have a growth series on uncommon areas of practice, and this is the second session of that series. I mean, obviously, whenever a chartered accountant gets qualified as a CA, first thing he gets into is either audit or income tax or GST. That is our traditional core area of practice. Nowadays, I mean, many youngsters are preferring some offbit areas, some offbit subjects for practice, for consulting. So that is the reason why we are going through this uncommon area of practice, and it is actually a very good way to get insights from people who have actually been doing the same since last two or three decades. I think Rajen bhai and Neha have been in SEBI practice, I suppose, for more than 2 decades now.
Yes.
Yeah, for more than 2 decades. So it would be a very insightful session today to have your experience about this area and how a person can start this kind of a practice. So starting with a very basic preliminary question, first of all, how did you decide to get into this area of practice? I mean, as I said that you both, in your introduction, what we heard was Rajan bhai was with PwC, with RSM, with probably in the consulting practice. Neha was with BSc for many years. So what was the thought when it got germinated that let's start this kind of a niche practice?
Yeah. So a very interesting question. As you would have known that I was with Bombay Stock Exchange earlier. I was there for 8 years in listing department. And from there, I mean, Bombay Stock Exchange, it gave me a very super exposure, but it was not a very great paymaster. So at that particular time, I thought that now it's time to move on. And I started applying and I got opportunity also. So I was NRI head compliance at ICICI Bank. I joined there. The salary was almost 3 times from what I was getting at Bombay Stock Exchange. So I started working there. And at Bombay Stock Exchange, what desk I was handling was corporate actions basically and listing. So probably on one particular day, I used to handle roughly 100 calls. And I was in touch with maybe so many corporates each and every day. So always talking, always busy, always, explaining things. So when I joined ICICI Bank, I felt lost. I thought, "Ki, Arey Baba, ye kya ho gaya?" Karke. I was in my own cubicle and there was nothing more to speak about or to talk about. And same team I was talking, it didn't seem to be so very exciting. While I was at ICICI Bank, I used to get calls from so many corporates. Mobile was just introduced in those days. So I used to get so many calls from various corporates, how to do it, from other professionals, ye kaise karna hai, how do we resolve this? And anyways, this ICICI Bank job was not very interesting. And traveling was a big problem. At that time at BKC, traveling was a big thing. So I thought and Rajen was working with PwC, so already one safe income was there. At that particular time, I checked with Rajen, what should I do? Should I start, looking for some other job because I was not enjoying ICICI
So at
Bank.
the back end,
Huh.
when she wanted to leave ICICI, she had asked me to post CVs everywhere. So मैंने post नहीं किया वो. I did not post those CVs, and finally, we came and she decided that okay, let me start this.
So then
We'll
I
see how it
thought,
goes
let
ahead.
me start. Let me see. And my cousin, I think so, he's also a participant over here. He was already into practice, Sachin Chadwa, and he said, "Ki, you give a try. Otherwise, I think so, surely you will find some other job." And based on that, I gave a try and I started from a very small business center, my practice. And then later on, Rajen joined me after 2 years.
So I used to help from outside, and Harsh, you rightly said that initially the whole idea is to get into traditional practice, but in those days that was true. Nowadays the whole economy has opened up a lot. So based on that, now chartered accountants are getting a lot of other opportunities, which was not there in our days actually. I mean, I'm talking about what 98. 97, 98. So at that point in time, the economy was not opened up that much as it is today. So naturally, now the avenues have increased a lot. Yeah.
Okay, good. So, this is probably you are saying somewhere around 2 decades back, where you started as a say, new consultant or as a new practitioner.
Yes.
So, what was the first thought process to pitch to what type of clients? There are say MNCs, there are listed corporates, there are SMCs, there are corporates which are private limited, Lala company, what we say, family owned companies. So what was your first initial thought process that what sort of clients should we pitch to first of all?
Probably in the beginning we were not selective. Whatever used to come, we used to take. And it was not about, that was very clear that what my exposure was there. And when I started working on my own, it was only the listed companies compliances.
Correct.
That I've been doing since many years at stock exchange. So I had a very good grip on it. And we used to, in fact, there was no Lala company. I think all sort of companies came in.
Actually, the thing was that since she was in touch with, many companies, more than BSE had at that point in time, it had more than 6,000 companies listed. Now that has reduced a lot. But so each and every company as such knew her that she's there and she's there to help, because in her role in BSE, she used to also guide a lot of companies, help them to become compliant and all that. So companies used to even otherwise come and call and speak to her that okay, how do we get out of this mess, or how do we do this process and all. So she used to even otherwise get calls. So we thought, why not capitalize that? So whoever used to call and wanted to have certain kind of process done, we used to help them.
Yeah, and probably in 6 months' time, it was in this thing.
Public domain. It was in public
So
domain.
you had some kind of a base from BSE, you can say.
Yes. Actually, that helped, frankly speaking. That helped.
Okay. Can you give a broad idea about what is the job profile actually is? Is it a litigation? Is it a compliance? Is it a advisory? Or is it a hand holding of clients? What is it about exactly?
So It's more kind of a transaction advisory because we are more into assignment based services. Whatever the company wants to undertake any corporate action, so that is where we come into picture. So we help them structure, we help them set the process, we help them schedule the resources, and at times if the company requires, we also help them execute. So it is not a litigation practice, but it is kind of a consulting advisory come execution. And at times representation also, because we also represent our clients before the stock exchanges and SEBI. So that is more so,
Litigation,
yeah.
we don't take any part. Whenever
Yeah.
there is a litigation matter, we take help of advocates who appear on our client's behalf. We give them the brief that this is how it has to be done, and these were the things that were being discussed, or communication between exchanges and SEBI, and on what grounds we feel it should be in our favor. So that is what we do. Other thing is, we do full handholding for SME IPO, wherein we structure their capital. We see to it that how we are capable, first of all, changing the mindset of the promoters. Because when a company is planning for an SME, the promoters have their own way of thinking and they are not very open. So first changing that, introduction of independent directors, their familiarization, how they are answerable to various stakeholders. So, and what is important for them, or how they are supposed to behave, and what is expected from them. So that is a grooming part of the promoters. Secondly, we structure their capital so that how best the promoters are benefited. And thirdly, also that what is the valuation of the company, we assist in that. And we, along with the merchant bankers, we conclude that this could be a good valuation and we can have good investors for that particular company. And we also see to it that how we can help them in funding, pre-IPO funding and post-IPO funding. So that could be one of the roles. Then it could be also that advisory so as we see, SEBI and stock exchange practice, it covers 3 laws mainly. It's the LODR, ICDR, PIT and SAST, 4 laws. So there are lot of queries pertaining to PIT and SAST. The law...
So PIT is basically insider trading, norms, and SAST is takeover
acquisition. So the regulation is pretty small, but the queries that we have and the detailing that needs to be done into it is very huge, and lot of efforts get into it to interpret it. So we do quite a advisory on PIT and SAST. LODR and ICDR, we help in various compliances, like if the company is planning to come out with a preferential issue, private placement, or if the company is planning to come out with a rights issue. So we do the whole hand-holding for the whole process.
So that, I mean, so wherever it's advisory, we advise, wherever it's execution. So execution also includes drafting of offer documents and seeking approvals and all that. So we are, backend to quite a few merchant bankers and law firms for drafting of documents also. So
I think
that
so
is there.
One question over there, is it a merchant banker? Yeah, we actually are merchant bankers without merchant banker license. Yeah. And we help lot of law firms and lot of merchant bankers back to prepare their documentation. So they generally don't hire full-fledged staff and they outsource it to us.
Okay. So actually, that was actually my next question. I mean, for such kind of a job, do you have to have a tie-up with lawyers, merchant bankers? I suppose that that is hand in hand, obviously.
Yes, that helps.
It's kind of a network that you need to create for yourself, where you'll get a continuous flow of work. And it's a give and take also, because at times for some other client, you may want services of a merchant banker or a valuer or people like that. So yes, it's a give and take relationship, but yes, you need to create a network. Yeah.
So once you started, I mean, say whenever two decades back, slowly you started growing, the clients onboarded. So now the thought process came of how to build a team. So for such kind of a practice, what sort of a team structure is required? I mean, do you prefer chartered accountants or do you prefer lawyers? What is the general team structure in this kind of practice?
See, team structure, basically, this is a very specialized field in that sense. So though a chartered accountant may have touched the SEBI laws in the while giving exams, or even a company secretary may have touched that, but it is not very basic which we work which we do. It's quite specialized, and we need to keep on updating knowledge on a daily basis, because laws are changing, transactions are happening, structures are changing. So with that, we expect that the person who is there needs to have some basic knowledge of how the capital market works, what are the rules and regulations, so that whoever comes in gels in faster. Otherwise, it will take a lot of time to only understand how the things work.
So it
Yes.
is a combination in our case, in our company, I should say. It's a combination of company secretaries and chartered accountant and graduates. Somewhere we feel a few things are quite, monotonous, wherein you don't require a professional. Maybe structuring of capital, I need a professional, but preparation of document, to certain extent, I can put a graduate into it. So we have a very combined team of company secretaries, a chartered accountant, and graduates who all come together, and we are able to, take up. But generally, it is company secretaries and lawyers that we require on board, rather than chartered accountants.
Okay, lawyers are also there.
Lawyers in my firm, we
in-house?
don't have any, but lawyers can be also considered
Part of the team.
Can be considered as a part of the team.
Okay.
Yeah.
And,
So
any issue?
since we are not into tax advisory of any transaction, we do not have a chartered accountant. But yes, in case if somebody wants to have a team, then a tax advisory would also be advisable. So over there, you need to have a chartered accountant in the team.
And
Yeah.
even interpretation of accounts, when
Financials, accounts.
basically, that is also equally important when and how calculation of working capital, like whenever we raise funds, how we are going to utilize these funds is very mandatory and very of utmost important. So when we say that how I'm going to utilize the fund, over there, the role of chartered accountant comes in. Working capital में डाल रहा है कि capital
Yeah,
built up
and putting in the figures, basically, making 1 + 1 2. That is
probably company secretaries, they may not be suitable, but chartered accountants do a good. I mean, over there, chartered accountants are required somewhere.
Yeah.
So any issue of attrition in this line of practice?
Right now, when the markets are good, there is huge problem, because here we train. Another thing is that whoever comes, he needs 6 to 8 months professional, and a graduate maybe 1 year to 18 months to understand how things work. So here we train, and by that time people keep on moving. So it is a task somewhere we ourselves think that certain part we are very clear that ye apne ko graduate ko hi dena hai, because they don't move so fast. They are there, and they are happy with the salary raise also that we give it to them. Whereas professionals, because what happens is merchant bankers, investment bankers, when the boom is there in the market, they just pick up the professionals, and they because their fees are based on fundraise that they do. So they can pay what they have to, but over here, maybe we have some restrictions. So people just keep on moving. Another thing that what our firm, Infineon, follows is we prefer ladies over men, and we have lot of options of working from home.
Yeah.
So it's quite hybrid, and people do visit us maybe fortnightly or weekly or whenever there is a need base. So I have professionals who are working with us from almost 10 years, 8 to 10 years. So I'm happy. I mean, I've been able to put up my staff, but that is the reason why, because I give that facility that they can work from home.
So now coming to a revenue pattern. Generally what firms who are into compliances, they have their recurring compliance revenue which comes on. The firms who are into advisory, tax litigation, they also have their revenue. On a daily basis or on a very frequent basis. In this kind of practice, what we want to understand is it a recurring practice? Is it a recurring revenue, or there is assignment based? There will be assignments, say in a year, there will be 5-6 assignments, or in a year, there will be only one or more assignments. So is there any kind of a volatility in such revenue patterns?
Yeah, see now the kind of practice that we are, when the capital markets are in a boom, people want to raise funds, people undertake corporate actions. Like back to back, you are seeing a lot of IPOs coming, a lot of private placements happening, a lot of. If you see this year, there has been a boom of rights issues. Earlier, you would never have seen so many rights issues coming, even in a full year. And here, those numbers are coming within a month actually. So this is, so when the capital market is good, you have assignments. Otherwise, then you have to bank on some other professional services. But you make up for that loss when the markets are in boom. So that is good enough. In the services that we provide, we generally provide assignment-based service rather than retainership-based service. Because we don't get into daily compliances kind of a thing. So those who are into daily compliances, like I can give you an example, like every company, every main board company needs to provide a quarterly result where there is a limited review, right? So a peer-reviewed chartered accountant who's getting into that kind of a certification service will have a quarterly, revenue, which is a retainership kind of a thing.
Correct.
But like for us, we are more of a corporate action based or an assignment based service. So it's assignment based.
But
fees.
yeah, just to add on this,
Yeah.
that maybe in the year 2006-7,
No, 12 to 14.
12 to 14,
Yeah.
SEBI came out with lot of new rules and regulations, and suddenly the market became very slack and hardly there were any transactions that were happening.
Yeah.
And frankly speaking, that was a very bad phase in our practice, and we were just able to meet our ends, frankly.
Yeah.
At that particular point, we realized that there is a need to build up the retainership practice somewhere. And just to see to it that at least it keeps on give us the recurring income that we should have. And just to say, from current practice till 10% of our practice, we do focus on our retainer practice, because that will at least give us bread and butter, some bread to us. Butter comes from the other way.
What exactly is this retainer practice? SAST regulation compliance, or?
No,
What is this?
it is normal compliance, ICDR, LODR compliances with the stock exchanges. One is that. And another is like for Indian Bank, we do a lot of their ESOPs listing. It's a huge bank with huge number of shareholder employees. So their ESOP keeps on happening again and again. So we help in listing of that ESOP. It's outsourced part of it. And others are normal compliances of a listed company that they have to do on a quarterly basis.
So we advise on their compliance, because there will always be something or the other which the listed company will do, and they may want to ensure that they are compliant with the law. So advising on that and assisting them in those compliance.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
always
so now-
advisable that you should have a combination of both. You just
Yeah,
can't
correct.
be on assignment. Till that time, probably we never realized it.
Yeah.
We realized after,
After being almost a decade in the
yeah,
profession.
it was late probably on our part, but that was a learning.
How competitive is this segment? Is there a room for SMB practitioners? Is there a room for mid-sized firms, or only big fours are ruling, or only I don't know. How competitive is this?
It's competitive. The world is small in the finance field. Everybody knows everybody. It is like that. So a newcomer, maybe a new entrant in the capital market from the company's perspective. So in case if the company is coming, then they may be new, but the moment they are 2 or 3 years old, they will know everybody in the market. SMBs, there's always a room because India is a growing economy. There'll always be room. There's enough work for everybody. I think so that there is no issue as such. Initially, to start off, maybe it may be difficult, but once if you take that, if you have that patience and you've budgeted your finances for a couple of years, then it should not be a problem. That is what is our take.
Yeah, there is a competition, and the competition is, see, we are a boutique firm wherein we work with very niche this thing. But for us, competition is always the merchant bankers. And it is because rest probably we have surpassed all. I mean, there have been many company secretaries, many chartered accountants who started with a similar practice, but probably survival was difficult for them. So we have personally surpassed that whole thing, and we've been able to sustain. But yes, merchant bankers are there. Merchant bankers, particularly from Delhi, Ahmedabad, Calcutta, they give very cheap services. And
cheap as in services are good, but at a cheaper rate.
At a very cheaper rate. And that always we face a problem that ये लोग तो इतने में कर रहे हैं, आप तो बहुत expensive हो. But probably with years, we've been tagged like that, and that is how it is. Meaning, competition is there.
With the kind of experience that we have built over the years, finally, in case if any case gets stuck, probably out of 3 or 4 top professionals, we are one amongst it.
Always.
Yeah.
I mean, is there any one or two kind of a ruler, say big fours or semi-big fours or those video? Or
big fours come into play. Big fours come into play where there is, foreign investment which is there.
Correct.
In the listed entity. So there it is a problem to crack the nut. But otherwise, generally, our Indian companies are open. The CFOs are open. The company secretaries are open to go more with our own people rather than getting into Big Four, because Big Four again, process wise and work wise, they face some difficulties. I mean, we have not worked hand in hand with Big Four, not many assignments, a couple of assignments, but yes, I mean, that is what we got the feedback.
Generally, what we've seen is that in this particular sector, the promoters, neither the other stakeholders, they are not keen on hiring Big Four. Not keen, not at all.
It is only a mandate which is there, which comes from abroad, or that the fund is
fees is one of the reason, or
no, other thing? About the fees, it's about the efficiency and the quality of work, very clearly.
Okay.
So we have ENY capital market team, and I think so we have for ENY capital market team is doing pretty well. Rest, so I don't think also means कर रहे हैं वो लोग transaction advisory कर रहे हैं, लेकिन फिर भी I think so they somewhere still come back to maybe people like us or merchant bankers for help, and merchant bankers somehow सब Indian ही हैं.
Yeah.
So the good ones are definitely Indian. So I don't think Big Four or any foreign consultants have major role to play in this particular. Not in under next 10 years. I don't see.
Okay.
I don't see.
Probably good line of practice then.
Yeah, of course it is. And I'll tell you, see, when we started, we never had other exposure. Like probably phone was the first thing that we had, mobile phone. But like internet or social media or probably connectivity, networking platforms. Now we have n number of networking platforms. So I feel that the young who have just come in, and if they try to take up certain knowledge and understand how this market works, definitely they have much more chances to grow on this particular field also. As they will, as there is a hurdle for other say tax or audit, similar इसमें भी same ही रहेगा, इतना difficult नहीं होगा. मिल जाएगा काम 100% मिलेगा, क्योंकि अभी getting work, how to get work again has become a different ball game.
Oh, yeah.
Lot of funds are coming in, so naturally, काम तो
Funds,
है.
but I'm just talking about, there are so many networking
Yeah.
platforms, which I feel we should, we all should encourage and join that. Or there are so many other social media things from where, like if you are on LinkedIn, so much knowledge download you can get from there. So considering all these factors, like I had a platform of Bombay Stock Exchange, and you will say that that's the reason why your practice is so good. But not necessary. Currently also there are few company secretaries who have ventured into this practice and they are doing pretty good.
And who've not had the exchange exposure.
Yeah, still they are doing good.
Yeah.
So now to address the new dragon, tech disruption. I mean, the traditional practice is actually facing this new competition from disruption of technology. Do you feel any kind of a disruption with the advent of Copilot or Chat GPT? Is there any I mean some kind of a cut shorting your profile or your work assignments from this thing?
Not as such.
Or are they helping you out in some or the other manner?
It helps. It of course helps. It supports our work. So when we are preparing offer documents and all, at times if you need certain data or something, so you can easily get that data, or you can find the source for that, or at times drafting something, it may help you grammatically and all. Finally, the thought has to be yours. That is one thing which I have learned over while using the AI. The thought has to be yours, and how well you articulate your query to the AI platform. That is critical. But otherwise, yes, I mean, it reduces some time. But yeah, majorly, still tech has not taken up too much in this profession, unless you are into kind of a distributions services, or what do you say, investment advisory services and all. Yeah, that's a different ballgame altogether, because there you are working based on assumptions only. So there tech is very important.
It's here what we work is more on interpretation, more on drafting. So still, I don't think we are facing that threat of tech. Not
It's
yet.
more of a support than a threat. That is what I would say.
Yeah. So coming to any kind of a professional liability. I mean, say for example, if there is any assignment which is not going as per your thought process, or not having a success ratio as per your thought process, is there any kind of a, first of all, a professional liability from the client side or from regulator side?
See, professional
Generally, what we
liability
have
will
in
always
auditors
be
case.
there. Professional liability, since we are into services. I mean, any kind of a offering that we do, whether be it a product or a service, professional liability will always be there. Okay. Now that you can mitigate either by having a professional liability insurance. That is one of the monetary parts. Secondly, you have to be open and transparent, okay, with the client. That is the second part. Third is, if you know day one that you're not going to be able to do it, or there is some critical issue which may arise during the course of the assignment, discuss that out immediately, or say no on day one that, okay, I will not be able to do it for this reason. The clients appreciate that. They'll come back to you the next time. They'll say that this professional is clear in what he can do, he cannot do, or what is doable or not doable. Otherwise even in our profession, there are people who will, say that, yes, they will do it, and they'll take the fees, and they will, gumafy the whole 6 months, 1 year down the line. The promoter is still crying, no work done. So day one, our philosophy has been that if you cannot do, say no to the client, be happy, go home, sleep well, rather than getting into answering mode.
Yeah. And besides this, we generally deal with a lot of price sensitive information always. And we have access to all price sensitive information. So now definitely SEBI has come out with SDD, the systematic disclosure database, and insider trading norms. So considering all that things, of course, we ensure that we ourselves don't trade in that particular script, neither do our staff trade. But, at times it's difficult to monitor everything. हमारा खुद का तो हम मॉनिटर कर लेंगे, स्टाफ का हम कैसे मॉनिटर करेंगे, और how it has been transferred. I mean, if the confidential information is transferred, then also it's a risk. So considering all those things, I feel somewhere this is one of the major risks that we face. Confidentiality, people tell us the whole story. जैसे कि आप डॉक्टर को पूरा स्टोरी बताते हो, वैसे you have to tell the whole thing, the health of the company, how it can be improvised, or what corporate action we are planning. And if that thing gets,
leaked or something.
So that is one of the major risks that we face. And SEBI also is strict when, so even though we don't have our COPs, we are neither registered, but still we form a part of SDD for each and every company. Because we have that we serve, because we have access to all the information. So that risk somewhere I feel is there. And as if some work what we have taken up and we are not able to complete that work, तो वो अपना एक इसका भी risk हो सकता है कि नाम खराब हो जाए. That risk also can be there.
Your integrity is questioned.
Integrity,
honestly,
surely. But at times things change and we may not be able to, regulations change and we may not be able to complete that assignment. तो उसका भी issue हो सकता है. Of course, we've never faced that because we don't take up assignments where we slightest also feel that it is not going to work out.
Yeah.
Or we work with that particular disclaimer.
So is there any kind of a process of KYC, know your client? I mean, what generally we do for audits and tax. So
100%, 100%
there is the same thing.
Yeah, we do that. We in SME, so we definitely see into their financials and all, whether that capability is there, whether the valuation would be worth it, and try to match his mindset with what the valuation of the company is. क्योंकि सबको 100 करोड़ चाहिए, लेकिन उसका capacity ही सिर्फ 25 करोड़ होता, how can you give him 100 crores?
Capacity as well as attitude, because lot of fly-by-night promoters, they just want to come with the issue, फिर आगे देखा जाएगा जो होगा वो. So all that needs to be gauged. That is a very big risk.
And we would be associated with that particular promoters or company. So definitely it does matter. I mean, KYC has to be done.
Okay, fine. So, I mean, intentionally, I don't want to create your competitors, but just want to ask one question. If anyone wants to start a practice in this line, first, I mean, three things I want to know. Firstly, what should be the knowledge and skill? Anything addition to CA, that's the first thing. Second thing, what should be their initial clientele approach? I mean, pitching to what sort of clients? And thirdly, how much gestation period does it take to properly grow their team?
Yeah. So first thing,
knowledge and skill, first of all.
Knowledge and skill. Yes, you need to have a great background of company law and securities law. Both the things.
Company law, securities law, and financial markets also, because how the structures work, how the vehicles work, the special purpose vehicles. Like you may say ki I will register AIF for you, but you need to know the basics of an AIF. What is the structure? How AIF registration is done? What are the post AIF terms, conditions? This, that. One has to be aware of all these things, and this is specialized. This is not available in a regular course.
Yeah, it is not available. I mean, this is through experience and through a lot of study. Like there is a team in my office who will keep on studying and give us an update that this is how it is happening. Yeah, aisa structure kiya. So that is how we also grow, and it is a lot of reading. It doesn't come like that only.
Is there any kind of a certification course by SEBI or by exchange?
Yeah, so there is a course conducted by SEBI along with Government Law College. It's Diploma in Securities Law.
1 year course.
It's a 1 year course wherein SEBI officials come, exchange officials come, and they give you the background and with case studies and all that. So it's a 1 year course conducted at Government Law College. Otherwise, there is NISM also, which conducts. They have 1 year, 2 year. Even BSc and NSC also conduct these kind of courses.
But I feel GLC course of 1 year is the best one. It has got a very good coverage.
Does it have any kind of a precondition of being a CACS, or anyone can give that exam?
No. Any graduate can. They have some minimum marks criteria, and you have to give an entrance exam plus an interview. It seems. I mean, I have done that years back. I was amongst the first or second batches which was done, but now currently I'm not aware. I mean, I can share it. Look up and share it if you want.
Sure. Secondly, what sort of clientele should they pitch to? I don't know.
So clientele currently, since IPOs and SME is very much into, it's at its boom and everything is there. I feel we should approach maybe various associations, industry associations, trade associations, from wherein we can get in touch with good businesses. And from there, maybe we can take up, this is the companies who are not yet listed. Correct. And from there, we can approach them and see to it if they are eligible for an IPO and if they are willing to come out with an IPO. So that could be one part of it. And second part would be who are already listed. So who are already listed is, I feel you have to grow organically, wherein these listed companies come through your network. And from there, maybe you can get work. Because every listed company generally has some or other consultant already with them.
Correct.
So, to you becoming a consultant, you have to grow that organically and you have to have that experience to, cater his needs also.
Also, for those who are already in practice, it's mandatory for them to become peer reviewed. It becomes a faster entry for you. Reason being, all companies need a peer reviewed statutory auditor. The limited review reports are to be given by a peer reviewed chartered accountant or statutory auditor. Second is, there are a lot of certifications which are required when there are corporate actions like mergers and all that, for accounting related and ratio related and all that. So there, in case if you are a peer reviewed chartered accountant, it really helps.
Yeah.
And from there, once you step there, automatically, the promoter will come back, I want to do this kind of a corporate action. So
You are in touch with at least the team.
So you are in touch with the team, the promoters, the management. So there, it becomes easier for you to get into that kind of a thing. Or second is funding. If you know people are getting into IPOs or they are getting into fundraising for rights issue or through private placement, and you have your own resources or network to fund that kind of an issue, that is a second. So there again, there your professional degree is not that much at play other than the network that you have.
Do you use any paid database or nothing like that?
There is paid database for what reason? There are no, like transfer pricing, there is no paid database required in this.
No. Say for example, if any company is planning for any NCD or any FPO, as of now, the notice has not come to exchange. But if any company is planning for that, so is there any kind of a database or is there any kind of?
See, only one database I think so that would be available is existing listed companies ka database that is available. But those who are planning to come out, as such, there is no consolidated database. As I said, you have to go to the particular trade association, just Jalgaon Trade Association or some place ka trade association from whichever are industrial areas.
Like a specific industry or a location-based trade association which is there.
So udhar se milna would be more this thing, because otherwise there is no consolidated common database that has been maintained or what we are aware of.
So startups also come into this play. The one who wants to get into listing segment.
Yeah, they can come into this place, but there is, I'm not sure whether what database is available to,
More so there, the
Attractive.
incubation centers would be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or there are angel networks who are, who help with the initial capital.
So
Maybe
we should be
angel
touch with them.
network, seed funding, or round 1, 2, whatever is there. बाद में third, fourth round में तो either there is a offer for sale or there is an IPO.
Correct.
So if we can catch those people, then yes, then you are in touch. And also one thing which is required in this is that when I mentioned with regard to the peer-reviewed auditor, a lot of these companies, when they get listed, they need to restate their accounts because they are going as per normal accounting standard, and then you need to get into Ind AS kind of a thing. So that also is a very good practice area.
Yeah, that is a good practice area, and you get access to the company
Yeah.
by doing that. And all SMEs have, all listed companies, all companies are planning to come out with an IPO, they have to provide that restated accounts.
There is one question from participant is asking what is the success ratio, number of proposals which are submitted versus proposals resulting into assignments. Just broadly, you can give a percentage or you can give any of your experience.
For us, it has been, I would say 60-40.
60 success.
60 success, 40 is drop, but depends. If you are the single bidder, then you are 100%.
But yeah,
but at times you faced where the assignment is almost signed or maybe signed also, and we have not yet started execution, and the company or the promoter has said that okay, now we are going with somebody else. So we faced those situations also.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens. I mean,
happens.
you can't.
But I should just add to this that the assignment size is what I'm trying to say. The fees is comparatively, the number of assignments are less as compared to the normal practice, but the fees
will be, correct.
Fees would be good enough to cover up that way.
So I mean, listening to you for half an hour, it seems like this is a sunrise sector. Going forward also for like 2 decades also, this is a sunrise sector. So I want to understand 2 things from you. One, what are the challenges in future? See, there is an ever, I would say, changing of laws by SEBI. Any one fraud which occurs, any one corporate governance issue which occurs, and the whole industry is taken for a toss.
Correct.
So what will be the challenge, first of all? And secondly, how good is an opportunity for an SMP practitioners? I would redraft my question. Say, for example,
I got your point. I got your point. For a small and medium practitioner, what are the challenges?
If a firm is intentionally planning to shift their traditional practice from this niche practice, is it worth for them?
Yeah, maybe gradually, definitely they can do that. 100% it can be considered. We have probably Anand Bhatia and team, I should say. They have gradually built up like that. Of course, they have a in-house team. I mean, घर के ही सभी लोग हैं, lawyer भी है, chartered accountant भी है, सब लोग हैं. But this is how they have grown. And probably they take care of tax also, audit also, and they take care of IPO assignments also.
Corporate advisor.
But I think so, uske further they are not going. I mean, fundraising, like what we do, the next part of it, once the company gets listed. So yeah, definitely there is a scope. Only the thing is that this is a seasonal business. Markets are good, work is there. Markets are not good, then you come down to a very basic ratio.
I mean, at times for 15 days continuous, you will get no call. Maybe 15 days, maybe a month. So when we mentioned earlier that from 2014, 12 to 14, we were just hand to mouth at that point in time from the practice as such. In fact, in 2014, I think so, I remember for a couple of months, koi client aaya hi nahi. There was no corporate action at all. So there were no fees at that point in time. So, but yeah, I mean, as you grow and as you create your own network, yes, you'll surpass that. And as I mentioned earlier, you start from small, get yourself peer reviewed, get into, this restatement of accounts, maybe audits or limited review. And then from there, you can automatically make inroads, or else you need to be on the funding side.
Also, what I feel is, say whatsoever, it looks very good and all, but at times it is a lot of high pressure job, because everything has got a deadline. Like, in our case, when we are talking about IPO, the shares are not credited in one particular day. Everything is questioned, that why on that particular day the shares have not been credited in case of bonus. So at times it becomes too much of pressure, and I feel definitely it's much more than what we I mean, आप लोग को जो डेडलाइंस है टैक्स का, उससे वो कभी-कभी बहुत ज्यादा इंटेंस हो जाता है कि भाई बस हो गया, और वो कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी भी बहुत हो जाता है. कोऑर्डिनेट विद रजिस्ट्रार, कोऑर्डिनेट विद merchant bankers,
stock exchange, anchor to the issue.
Like, it is, you just can't say that I am purely into advisory and consulting. ऐसा नहीं होगा, तुमको वो operations में भी घुसना पड़ेगा.
Execution can also be, also have to be undertaken by you, because आप advice तो कर लोगे, बाद में अगर वो execute नहीं हुआ तो finally client is going to say कि आपने ही बरोबर advice नहीं किया, नहीं तो हम तो कर लेते थे.
Execution experts also. So it goes hand in hand. When you advise, you have to execute also. Like offer for sale, when we do, it's just a 3-day process. But the first day when the shares have to actually get credited to the clearinghouse accounts, we work till 11 o'clock in the night. We work, even the clearinghouse of exchanges also work that late. Because कुछ भी करो, सब कुछ है ना, तो भी something goes wrong.
So unless those shares are credited next day, offer नहीं खुल
सकता है. तो कभी-कभी बहुत टाइम बाउंड हो जाता है, कभी-कभी बहुत हाई प्रेशर हो जाता है, और कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी भी रहता है. अच्छा, क्लाइंट का डिमांड रहता है, तुम करो, फास्ट करो, लेकिन बैकग्राउंड में क्या हो रहा है, they may not realize it, and the clients are so high profile, they are always the promoters who are all, means they have a big upper hand always. तो वो they create some different type of pressure कि अभी अपने जैसा ही कोई प्रेशर क्रिएट करता है ना, उसको हम हैंडल कर लेते हैं, लेकिन बियॉन्ड अ पॉइंट इफ वी हैव समबडी थोड़ा हाई प्रोफाइल है कि अभी
2000 crore market cap कंपनी का प्रमोटर बोलेगा तो you can't say much to
You
him.
have to, correct.
You can
That
also,
was actually my last question. What is the work-life balance in this field? Is it worse than traditional practice, or?
At times I feel it is worse. I mean, work-life balance manage हो जाता है somehow, क्योंकि चलो वो 2 दिन अगर बहुत काम किया तो उसके बाद शायद हमारे पास कुछ नहीं रहता है, ऐसे ही बैठे रहते हैं, तो वो बैलेंस हो जाता है. लेकिन इनिशियली क्या था कि भाई काम की जरूरत थी, सब कुछ था, तो वी यूज्ड टू टेक वर्क, ओके, एंड वी यूज्ड टू गो फॉर वेकेशंस आल्सो, क्योंकि बच्चे भी छोटे थे, तो चलो वी हैव टू गो फॉर वेकेशन. एंड we had such a terrible vacation that we were in the hotel only along with our kids and just coordinating with the whole stuff to be done.
The kids were on their own. They went for boating on their own. They went for walks on their own.
After that, of course, that was a learning again, that we realized when we are going out, we cannot continue with our assignments. You have to put a full stop over there. So we realized it, we learned it, we implemented it. Now it is better. But in those days, probably that was the need of the hour. I cannot be saying कि नहीं अभी नहीं कर सकते, हम लोग घूमने जा रहे हैं. That was not possible. तो वो जो time bound काम है ना, it is quite time bound, very time bound, and it is just not dependent on us or the client. It is dependent on other parties also.
Correct.
So it becomes, जैसे कि हम इनकम टैक्स वेबसाइट नहीं चलेगी तो तुम क्या करोगे, तुम करोगे, क्लाइंट करेगा, सब लोग करेगा, तो इधर सिर्फ इनकम टैक्स वेबसाइट में ऐसे 4 लोग रहेंगे दूसरे जिसके ऊपर हम लोग डिपेंडेंट है, तो वो उस समय बहुत प्रेशर हो जाता है. बट या स्टिल आई थिंक सो प्रोबेबली वी बी डूइंग दिस सिंस एजेस, सो वी एंजॉय द वे वी आर.
Thank you both of you for your very candid and very insightful this thing. Actually, this is a little niche area of practice, obviously. So that's why many tax practitioners, many auditors don't get into this. But obviously, there are, I mean, say not big fours, but I would say semi-big fours. So there are many firms who have now carved out from big fours. They have started this line of practice. What I've heard was that KPMG assurance head Jamil Khatri, he has started his practice, and even they are getting into this niche area of practice. So obviously, there is a room for everyone. But for SMP practitioners, this was actually a very candid of both of you. Thank you on behalf of CVOCA, on
Just
behalf
to
of
add
practice.
one thing, like just to add how niche the practice is, just to give an idea. Like we know IBBI, we know resolution plan, we know IBC, we know everything. But if a listed company undergoes a resolution plan and then it has to be implemented, believe me, it is not easy. You need experts like us to you actually execute the whole plan.
Correct.
And we've been known for it actually in the market.
Among maybe the 3-4, we are there.
So what I'm trying to say is we can create so much of value in our own self by taking care of this particular area of practice. It has got a lot of potential. Resolution plan implementation अपने को लगता है कुछ नहीं है, means कुछ नहीं है ऐसा नहीं, maybe जो resolution professional है वही कर लेगा, but it is not that. People hire us for that. So the practice or the stream has got so much of potential. कोई भी एक पकड़ के maybe you can specialize into it. And repeat ratio in our case, the customer repeat ratio is 100%. My first client, Pinjon Limited, is still my client, and they still call up whenever they come out with any corporate action.
And this is more than 20 years now.
Yeah. So in our case, it is 100%. I think so in most of the cases, because probably we as a CVO, we integrity, honesty, these are all our
Basic
insights.
ethics.
Yeah.
We don't
It's
to be taught that or told that.
And that is what each one is looking into this. कि उसमें से आप कुछ profit नहीं कर रहे हो ना, वो बहुत important है. Yeah, you are not misusing our information. So I think so for each one of us, that could be the thing, that it would be a repeat customer, 100%. Just cracking that first one would be difficult. But you can anytime come to us for any help, both of us. We are always there.
Sure. Thank you, Rajen bhai. Thank you, Neha madam.
Thank you, Harsh.
Thank you, Harsh.
Giving this insightful discussion.
Yeah.
Now we will move on to our second session. We have one more panelist, CA Jeenal Savla. This is a practice of independent directorship, which is also one kind of a sunrise sector for many professionals, majorly for chartered accountants, I would say. Without going much ado, I would directly jump on to some of the questions now. First of all, to Jeenal, what made you choose to become an independent director?
So
I think just to give a brief about Jeenal, she is a partner with Dedhia and Associates since many years. She's majorly into internal audits and she has been a past president of CVOCA. Yeah, Jeenal.
So thank you, Harsh, and thank you, President, and everyone for the wonderful session. And Neha and Rajen, it was truly inspiring. So your session was truly inspiring.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what made me I started my career in internal audits from 2008 to 2010. I was with Aneja, where I used to go in to audit committees and board meetings and used to give the presentations over there. And from 2010, I'm with Dedhia Associates at that time, initial. So almost 8 years, I was on the internal audit. As an internal auditor, I was going to the board meetings for presenting the reports and looking into the execution areas and all. And post that 2016-17, I got the opportunity to be an independent director. So again, now it was the other side of the board. So so I was always, excited, and as I'm from business background, entrepreneur background, so when you are as an independent director, you have to be unbiased and you have to see the business as a whole. And when you are internal auditor at that point, also you have to see that you have to put yourself in the shoes of the promoters and all the stakeholders, and you have to do, wherever value add you can give, you have to give it to the audit committee and board. So yes, this is how I got the opportunity, and yes, I was the independent director of the company. And after that also I got a number of opportunities, and so this is how I'm serving over there. Yeah.
Neha, same question. What made you choose to become an independent director?
Actually, nothing. I got an opportunity and I went for it. And usually I was always in touch with listed companies, promoters and all. So quite a few opportunities came in and I took up.
So apart from, they both being women, and being professionals, there is a huge opportunity because by Companies Act also it is mandatory for listed companies to have a woman director.
25% women directors.
Yeah. So
And we have Atul Bhai as well. So I think even he was on the he is on the board. He was on the board of Yes Bank.
Yes.
So even he will have something to share as far as he is the senior most as far as independent directorship is concerned. Yeah.
Yeah. So, see, first of all, what is the role generally you play as an independent director? I mean, see, there are auditors, there are lawyers, there is actually an executive board of director. So, what is the role of independent director?
So let us understand. So what is independent director role is like they are the guide, they are the coach, they are the mentor. Mentor to whom? Guide to whom? Guide to the auditor, internal auditors, guide to statutory auditors, to the management. So basically the entire board, right? So we have to ensure whatever decisions are taken are unbiased, and we have to ensure the transparency also. So yes, so we have to, see always we have to see from 360-degree angle. Yes, Neha, you have something to share on this?
No, rightly covered. I mean, that is how we mitigate the risk, or we have a look at the related party transactions, or maybe, as keep on guiding the statutory auditors.
What are the listing obligations?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
you have
so
to
what are
push the
the
promoters. Let me tell you, you have to push the promoters to get things right.
Absolutely.
It is not
Because
easy.
everyone over in the boardroom, everyone has their own challenges.
Yeah.
And we have to give the shoulder to everyone.
Yeah.
And then from that, we have to find the solution out. Like what can be the best solution, and how do we, see everything in positive way and go ahead.
Correct.
So one counter question to both of you: are you a watchdog or are you a value adder, or do you balance between both?
So we have to be both. We have to add a value at every juncture, and also yes, we have to ensure how do we, elevate the credibility and corporate governance standard. So there are many people who are relying on us, our names. So we have to balance both. Yes, Neha.
Yeah, and I feel wherever the strong reservations are there, we have to express that and put it up that this is not acceptable or this is not. And I think so, Jeenal, myself, Preeti, we all see to it that we put our foot down when we don't agree to anything.
हाँ, नहीं होता है तो नहीं होता, नहीं समझ में आता है, आपको करना पड़ेगा.
और ensure करते हैं कि वो minute होता है करके.
Right.
See, the key point here is that your objections has to get minuted, because whenever there is a question from the regulator, they will ask you what is the discussion that you made and what are the points that you put up. So to safeguard yourself, you have to ensure that your objections, whenever raised, have to be minuted.
So, I mean, coming to that, say the liability of independent director is becoming too onerous now. And, looking at say Nirav Modi scam or Satyam scam, I mean, the independent directors are now casted with too much of responsibilities. So, two things: how do you safeguard that, first of all, and secondly, if the liability goes too much over the board, do you take a stand that do you want to resign or something like that?
So first of all, when this opportunity comes, at that time also we have to be double sure as whether you are taking that role as an internal auditor or as an independent director, whether to accept that assignment or not. Because everything, tone at the top matters, right? If you are not confident with the management, if you are not confident with them, whatever practices they are doing, then you have to, you have to, draw a line. Okay. And if you say that you are there for a value addition, for elevating the corporate governance standards, right? And you have given a time, but if the things are not happening in your favor within that time frame, then again you have to, put your point across.
Okay, so you do your due diligence and see to it that, first of all, whenever you agree to become an independent director, you have to see to it that the ethical nature of the company is definitely there, but how acceptable they are.
Correct.
The promoters, the staff, the managerial staff, everybody. So that acceptability is also very important. You do your due diligence, you try and understand. There is no rush. And believe me, there is lot of scope. Ye nahi mila to dusra to opportunity hai. Lot of opportunity
Absolutely. And the composition also of the board matters. You have to always understand who are the other independent directors. They are just for the name of the, as for namesake, they are independent directors, or they are really an independent director and they are adding the value to the company. Because whenever we go to good boards, either there are academicians or some senior level management. I mean, their experience always would include somebody, ex-CEO, CFO, or vice president of that industry. Again, so what kind of composition is also very, very, very important, whether non-executive, executive, independent, how professionally the board is running the company.
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
Even that will give you the hints and clues whether to, take a plunge or not to take.
Yes.
What are the some kind of any additional qualification which are required to become an independent director? I think there is one IBBI exam, right?
Yeah, that's it. You have to be.
No, it's not IBBI exam. It is independent IDB exam. It's Independent Directors Database. They conduct exam. Basically, it's conducted by the Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs, under which this database is there. So through that, but I think so for professionals who have been in practice for more than 10 years and all, there is no requirement to give exam.
They are exempted, right?
They are exempted. They are exempted.
Okay. So, I mean, do you feel youngsters or any person who has been into practice in his full life, say 30 years, 40 years, he has been into practice, post-retirement, is this a good line of professional service?
Yes. I feel yes.
I mean, even if a person who has...
It should be considered. Reason being, I feel it's just not about the sitting fees that you get. I mean, sitting fees is one part of it. Okay, and besides it, I'm talking from listed companies point. Of course, unlisted also do pay that, but sitting fees is up to 1 lakh currently per board meeting. I am sure all of them are not paying currently, but maybe 4 years, 5 years down the line, people will reach to that mindset that me itna pay karna padega humko. And besides sitting fees, you get commission also. So that commission would be a percentage of the profit the company makes. So if the company is doing good, definitely you also get good amount of commission. Considering all these factors, yes. And 7 companies, listed companies, are currently allowed to you become a director. अभी आप retire हो गए हो तो 4-5 तो आराम से manage कर ही सकते हो. And we have that financial acumen, we know how to read accounts and all. So that part is not a botheration for us, I'll tell you, because that is a botheration for some other set of people.
All other sets of people, not only
so that is not a tension for us. For us, understanding the industry, what is happening pertaining to that industry, that is our concern. That we have to understand, and the working of the company. बराबर है. बाकी तो financials तो जो major part है, उसमें तो हम लोग सब master ही है. नहीं तो CA नहीं बनते थे. तो I think so that part is covered. So 5-6 companies definitely बन जाओ. I feel somewhere you have a good potential.
Any material to refer to read? I think there is one Independent Directors Code, right, in corporate governance and in company.
ICA has come out with that book, na, Role of Independent Directors.
Who has come out?
ICA.
Institute.
Institute. Okay. Institute ka hai. I think so. It's freely available and it's good number of pages. 150-200 pages ka book hai.
Role of Independent Director.
Role of Independent Directors.
Also, even the CS Institute has such a publication. Yeah. But otherwise, when you enroll yourself in the Independent Directors database, they also have a course which is free.
Okay.
So you can run through that. That gives you most of the basic knowledge that is required. Then it is a company-specific knowledge that you will need.
Correct. And the companies will also have their Independent Directors familiarization program and all. So they will help you and they will guide you, and whatever data you want or whatever regulated, unregulated information you want, they will be always available. And there will be always availability of those things. So even that would help. So there is a question, how do you get into this? So basically, first of all, 15-20 years of experience, good credibility, what kind of profile you are handling, that will also matter. That will really, because Neha is there because she is she is she is dealing with listed companies since so long. I am there because I was always on the other side of table for 10-15 years. And so I got the opportunity to be on the other side. So this is how you get.
Besides
Or
that,
else you need to be in that industry where you have, you are on senior most position or senior position, and you have retired from that role and you know much about that industry as a vice president, or maybe if you are academician, even that will help you to get this role. Yeah, Neha.
yeah. Besides that, there is one Prime database karke. They also have got good opportunities. You can register. I think so. It's a paid website, paid whatever it is. You pay them, and they have got very good opportunities. They try and match the company, because even companies register there with their requirement, and it's quite popular. So you can consider that also.
Also, subject matter experts are welcome. Generally, apart from being chartered accountants, in case if you are any subject matter expert, like say if you are maybe if you have been in Big Four and you have handled say certain specific sectors like say airline industry or oil and gas or maybe cement industry. So in case if you are a subject matter expert, then also it helps a lot to get into these positions.
Professionally managed companies, they always look for good independent directors because they want them to be the part of their strategic decisions.
Yes, yes.
Over there, the role of value addition comes.
Thank you both the panelists. Actually, it was a very nice discussion on independent directorship. I suppose women are more approached by listed entities for becoming independent directors. So obviously, there is a very good opportunity for women chartered accountants. So anyone who is having a part-time work, or anyone having some kind of a commitments with family, so obviously they can take up this kind of a role of independent director. Actually, we directly jump onto the session. We didn't introduce Jeenal, so I would now request Atul Bhai to please give a memento to Jeenal Savla, an online memento.
Thank you, Harsh.
Actually, we were a little short of time. The session was very intrigued of Neha and Rajen Bhai.
So what should I do for giving this memento? Any action from my side?
Just presenting the memento to Jeenal.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
If any important points if we have missed, then do cover that also, because you are having the maximum experience.
I think both of you have covered excellently well, and I think a great kudos to the organizers, the committee, and the office bearers for coming out with such a very novel thing online. And I could see many youngsters as participants. I think hardly there were 2, 3, 4 seniors. Otherwise, mostly there are youngsters who are participating. And I think we should continue this sort of courses at a very regular interview. Just a short, thing which I feel, for your internal audit, for your independent directorship, most important is, you should know how to ask the questions. I think that is most important, because whatever is my, judgment, what is my professional experience or whatever, at right questions at right time, because we are not there to give the solutions. We are just there to, see that proper governance, proper ethical things have been followed. And for that, appropriate questions at appropriate time at appropriate forum. I think that is what is most important.
Yes.
Appropriate forums means
and this small tip I thought I'll also has given a lot of inputs.
Correct.
So when you are independent director, you are also generally part of various committees of the board. So that is also the forum where you have to voice your questions there. That because you may be generally you may also be chairman of the audit committee, and that is the peak of the governance. So there you can raise you are there in RMC, you are there in so many other committees also you are there. So that is also
correct.
So I'm talking about that internal forums. I'm not talking anything about relating to SEBI or relating to other regulators or no. I'm on this internally wherever you feel that this is appropriate time, this is the appropriate
I think Atul you are in a low network zone, so your voice is coming a
Yeah,
little
correct.
broken.
It seems like, yes, proper network is not there.
raise your queries. If you raise your questions, yes, management of the company. Data on the question answer. Okay, fine. Yeah, yes. Thank you all the participants here. A very new area of practice. Just day after tomorrow, I am speaking on this at one of the Southern India region branches. I also gained a lot of things. I'll use some material from this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Atul. Thank you both the panelists. Now I would directly hand over to convener to propose a very well-deserved vote of thanks to both the panelists, to all the three panelists. Thank you.
Thank you, Harsh. I think after a wonderful and insightful session, or rather, I should say a talk, it's very difficult to come up with a VOT to match that level, but I'll surely try my best. So let me first begin with none other than Rajen Gada and Neha Gada. So heartiest thanks to y'all for coming up for this session and really sharing your insights about this area of practice. And friends, I think we will all agree that certain things that they very candidly and openly discussed, we as organizers were a bit skeptical as to whether Rajan Bhai and Neha Ben will be comfortable sharing some of these details, or whether we should ask them the questions. But I think point blank, whatever questions or points were sent to them I think they've been courteous enough to answer all of them very candidly and shared a lot of it openly. So thanks to both of you for sharing this wonderful insight and your time for the session. And to Jeenal, thanks a lot for taking your time out in spite of your busy schedule and sharing your insights on the independent directorship, which is again a very good area to look at, specifically for youngsters who really want to look at unconventional or different areas of practice beyond the traditional areas that we look at. And last but not the least, to our Vice President, Harsh Dedhia, for being the taskmaster or ringmaster. I don't know what should I tell him for the day. I think when we have stalwarts as speakers, the moderator is really in a tight spot. He has to ensure that he does his job well.
Yes.
And I think, friends, we will all agree that Harsh has really helped us get the right information and insights from the valued speakers that we have today. So thanks a lot, Harsh, for moderating this session, and thanks to all the participants who've been here in this event. And we look forward to having such enthusiastic participation in the future events. In case there are any other suggestions, any areas, unconventional areas that you guys would like us to take up in the upcoming sessions, feel free to reach out to any of the committee members or the managing committee as well, and we'll be happy to try and arrange such kind of more session. And last but not the least, to the entire subcommittee of practice management and development committee for helping in the organization of this event. So thank you so much,
Rajan,
and look forward to the participation in the future.
Rajan Bhai wants to say something.
Yeah. So thank you to the whole CVOCA team. Really well organized, and this is the need of the hour. Secondly, I just wanted to request, in case if anybody wants to take some guidance or anything, no problem, you all are welcome. But the only thing is you have to call Harsh and Nihar, and we can have coffee at Matunga.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rajan Bhai.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everyone. Thank you, Neha. Thank you.